Good You know, I think I'm just gonna let Calvin do the intro for today.
Good morning, Hank.
Calvin, how many parts do you think we want to do today?
This video came in 2 parts.
And so it shall be. Part 1, you. Hank, as I was watching your hilarious video yesterday, and indeed as I've watched your previous 130 videos, I always feel surprised. I hope you won't be insulted by this, Hank, but I'm surprised that you're so smart and funny. And I think I know the reason I'm surprised. It's not because you just became smart and funny, it's because the last time I knew you really well, you were 11. And Hank, you can say a lot of nice things about 11-year-olds, but their wit does not tend to be nuanced. For instance, all the jokes I told when I was 11, broadly speaking, went like this. Set up, set up, set up, set up, set up, get you ready for the punchline, are you ready for the punchline, are you ready for the punchline? Poop. The punchline was always poop, Hank. Whereas now that's only the punchline like 30% of the time. I think today for a lot of people, siblinghood is a relationship that occurs primarily in childhood. And then when you're adults, you still talk, but you mostly talk about your parents or your other siblings or familial matters of some kind. And you end up stuck with the same image of your siblings that you had when they were little. We're busy grown-ups who live across the country from each other, and there's not always time to add in your pants to book titles and see who can come up with funnier ones. By the way, Hank, my tripod today is a stack of books, and one of those books is called Pompeii, Tales from an Eruption. In your pants. I think it's an increasingly rare pleasure to know your siblings as adults, and I have to tell you, Hank, I am so grateful for this project primarily because I now know you as an adult, as a smart, funny, clever person full of ideas both brilliant, naming our forum My Pants, and diabolical, making me wax my chin. But Hank, I think it's safe to say that as much as we've enjoyed this project with each other, we never would have finished if people hadn't watched. First, because it was hard, and second, because I love not to finish stuff. Oh, and speaking of not finishing stuff, Hank, I went back through the Brotherhood 2.0 archives to find the first time that either of us ever mentioned a viewer of Brotherhood 2.0, and it was actually on like January 4th. The Nerdfighter in question, and remember back then Nerdfighters weren't even calling themselves Nerdfighters, was Peter, who had just had a baby. And I was all like, we're gonna get Peter a baby warming present. But then we didn't. Because I love not finishing things. Fortunately, Winfleet sent me an extra copy of Mummy, How Do I Know If I'm a Nerdfighter? I'm gonna send it to Peter as a 362-day late baby warming present, and then I will have actually completed the task. Hank, that brings me to part 2, Nerdfighters. Hank, before I go, I need to make one thing clear. Nerdfighters are not about you and me. Nerdfighters are about a made of awesome book made by a woman in Australia going to a made of awesome baby in the United States. Nerdfighters are about raising money and awareness for important causes. Nerdfighters are about building a supportive community of friends in my pants. Nerdfighters are about stupid, beautiful projects and making each other laugh and think with t-shirts and pocket protectors and rants about the situation in Pakistan, which sucks right now. In the contemporary world where things fall apart and the center cannot hold, you have to imagine a community where there is no center. Hank, at the end of this year, I started to think that a lot of life is about doing things that don't suck with people who don't suck. That's why I enjoyed the Happy Dance Project and the Project for Awesome so much. All these people who don't suck came together to do something that doesn't suck. And as I recall, that's the point of the scavenger hunt. Nerdfighters, I'll see you in my pants. And Hank, thanks for all of this. I'll see you on Monday. I know it could end real bad, but I wish it didn't have to end at all. Yeah, I wish it didn't have to end at all.